What's going on YouTube? Cloverbells here, back with another Scarlet Valiant video, and today we're going to be talking about the Series 2 rules announcements that they just dropped for competitive VGC play. And it was done right around midnight, and I made a video on it and I uploaded it in the morning, but then I took it down because I realized that I put out some misinformation there where I said the Ruination Mons were legal, and that was incorrect. So I figured let's not leave that up there, and let's take it down. Let's do it right, and just make sure that we give the right information. So this way, not only do you not look like an idiot, but then I don't look like an idiot. All right. So Series 2, again, it's all about the Paradox Pokemon, but no Legends of Ruin being announced, Swords of Ruin, I should say. So no Qian Pao, no Wo Qian. No Chi-Yu. Okay, so any kinds of broken combos that you wanted to try and do with Dragonite and Qian Pao, or Chi-Yu and Flutter Main, sorry, that's not happening. But at the very least, what that does is offer a little bit more variance in team building as opposed to what was being done just before Series 1 began, right? So you may have noticed all those different kinds of teams, like with the Dragonites and Qian Paos, for example, but now that you can't really use that, now you have to do a little bit more in the team building, and which is good because now we can get a little bit more variance, and it can actually be like a fresher format as opposed to picking up where we left off just before Series 1, right? And speaking of Series 1 and season stuff, so I want to take a moment to clarify the difference between series and season, because I think a lot of you casuals or people that are just new to playing competitive, they just don't know the difference between like series and season. So just to quickly define it, series refers to the rule set that we're playing right now, the format. All right, season is within a series. Season just refers to the reset of rank ladder every month. Okay, so as an example, right now, this is January 6th. We are still in Series 1, but we're in Season 2. Okay, because this is the second month of Series 1. Back in December, that was still, again, Series 1, but Season 1, okay? So when February rolls around, that'll be Series 2, Season 3 of the game, all right? Does that make sense? And then in April, that'll be, again, Series 2, but Season 4, all right? So just wanted to clarify that in terms of the difference between series and season, all right? So on your screen, again, Serby sent out the tweet that the rank battle rules for Series 2 has been announced. So I just wanted to take a minute on just discussing what that means and what you can do with certain Pokemon. Maybe think about building around some strong pairings. But the first thing that comes to mind is, of course, this thing, the Flutter Main, because just even before Series 1 began, when you had those few tours and just a little bit of showdown play, the Flutter Main was just absolutely oppressive. Like, look at these stats right here: special attack 135, special defense 135, speed 135, and you are a fairy type, so you put a lot of pressure on those dark types that were running around. And as a ghost type, you also put pressure against the opposing ghost types. So now you have to think, okay, it's like Flutter Main versus Goldango in a way, right? Because the Goldango has good steel coverage, good super effective steel damage against the Flutter Main. But on the flip side, the Flutter Main also has good ghost damage against the Goldango because it's also a ghost type. So you're going to see some back and forth action between Flutter Main and Goldango. But the Flutter Main probably can take a couple hits if you can make this a bulky set. Because I can see that, it's base 135 special defense, very, very strong. It's just the HP that's a little bit lacking, right? But I'm sure there's a couple of EV spreads that we can come up with later on that can, just resist, or I'm sorry, survive the calc against the Goldango stuff, or just go for like Terra Fire, for example. But anyway, in terms of like standard stuff, again, remember photosynthesis. If you have the booster energy or sunny day, your highest stat, whether it be the speed or your special attack, will be increased, right? So that's always very convenient, and this is why something like Torkoal is going to start to rise once again. And Torkoal, like I said in the first version of this video, I think it just goes up to like S tier rank, S plus tier, just because you can enable some of these Paradox Pokemon, right? So just to go through a couple of sets with the Flutter Main, so you could do, again, something like Dazzling Gleam, you could do something like Shadow Ball, then Trick Room, and then Protect, right? This is one standard set with the Flutter Main. You can make this either, the booster energy, all right? You could do even the Life Orb. All right, or you could even do something like a Focus Sash, up to you, depending on the rest of your team. I'm just giving you like some options. You can even make this like a choice spec set and then just not run Trick Room. But then many different things. And again, you get enabled by the Torkoal, which is really nice. Another pairing that can do well with this is the Roaring Moon. And more on the Roaring Moon in a second. But back to the Flutter Main. All right, what you can also do is plan for the mirror. And this also gets Icy Wind, so you can also act as speed control, right? Because you're a fast Icy Wind user. So just think of like Gengar. Remember, Gengar was being used for this reason, you know, just to win the Tailwind mirrors. And you'll probably see that again here with Flutter Main, with the Icy Wind stuff. And if you were to just go through some of Flutter Main's moves here, look, it even gets like Helping Hand and Fake Tears, which is actually really convenient. You can also make it like a supportive set, like we said. Mystical Fire is also really nice. This is also pretty good against Goldango stuff. So I could even see some tech options like Mystical Fire here, especially with Terra Fire. That could be kind of cool. You know, because this is like the one thing that Sylveon didn't get this generation. But again, Flutter Main gets this. So you can also consider like Mystical Fire stuff. That's an option there. All right. And again, this is also good against like, you know, King Gambit stuff. You know, Scizor, you know, other steel types that just don't want to take the Mystical Fire. And you can also use this against like potential Dragon Steel counterplay. You know, the Dragon type's going for the Terra Steel, so that's also really nice. In terms of like other things, it also gets like Thunderbolt T-Wave stuff. That's also kind of funny. But other than that, these are just like a bunch of offensive moves. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So you might see like Trick Room sets, Icy Wind sets, Mystical Fire sets, even like a Calm Mind set, although it's not like super bulky to really take advantage of Calm Mind. I think we had his Calm Mind set, but that was just to like round out the video. Like I actually wouldn't really use Calm Mind Flutter Main. But yeah, you have some options there. And then with Torkoal, you can probably see like a little bit. I put Yawn in item slot. You could probably see either like a Citrus Berry or a Charcoal set. If it's like a Citrus Berry set, then it's probably something like, you know, a Heat Wave, Yawn, maybe even like a Body Press set, and then Protect. You know, just to like pivot it in and out, just to like give weather or get weather control. Not really like a eruption set. I feel like if you do that, then this has to be Trick Room, and then you can go like the Charcoal Trick Room route, eruption route. Okay, so there's that reason. But if you have both of these on the same team, that's actually really nice, because then you can just go for like a Terra Steel option over here. And then you just already round out your Dragon Fairy Steel Core, right? So if this thing is running like Focus Sash or Booster Energy, then this thing is running like a Life Orb set, right? Which could do a lot of damage. Or, you know, this could be the booster, this could be the Life Orb. Either way. But in terms of like sets, something like Tailwind could be relatively useful, especially if this is running Trick Room. So this way you get the best of both worlds in terms of like speed control. So I really like this combination with these three. I think you'll see a lot of builds that focus around this trio and this core. You can go for Dragon Claw. You know, just looking at these stats, like look at this. Base 139 attack, 105 HP, really high speed. It's a very, very good dragon, you know, physical attacker. And then you can also consider Breaking Swipe. I definitely liked Roaring Moon Breaking Swipe, you know, just to like neuter a lot of those physical attackers that could be running around. You know, especially like Garchomp stuff. So this is also pretty nice. And again, remember, because of your speed, you outspeed the Garchomp and the Hydreigon. Like the unwritten rule says, the faster dragon will always tend to win, right? So this is also pretty nice. And then if you have like the booster energy, again, then what you could also consider is like acrobatics, because once you consume that booster energy, then you have like double damage here with, you know, the power being doubled, right? So and then you can go for like Terra Flying, which is also really nice, because remember, with your dark typing, you're weak to fighting moves. But then if you Terra Flying, all right, you can resist that and then just go for hard-hitting acrobatics. And with all this damage, you might even be able to pick up the Annihilates, especially even like the bulky ones. I haven't really gone through the calcs yet, but I'm just like planting ideas in your brain to consider, right? So these three are relatively nice. And then from here, what else is also really cool? The Brute Bonnet, redirection support. Again, this was just like deemed better Among Us, but it's not really Among Us, right? Because look at this speed tier, 55. That's already like faster than King Gambit, right? You know, because you have 5 more base speed. And look at this bulk, 99 special defense, 99 defense, and then 111 HP. It's a very bulky mon, but it also hits hard. Like 127 attack is very, very good. And you might even just use this as an offensive Pokemon, you know, with just like Rage Powder, Spore, you know, C-Bomb, and then Crunch, right? You know, something like this. And, you know, this could even thrive on certain rain teams, like with Pelipper stuff, and just really be that oppressive mon. Because on those rain teams, sometimes people like really opted for that Meowscarada because they wanted a more aggressive grass type, because the Amoonguss was kind of passive. But now you have this thing, so maybe you might even see this replace Meowscarada on certain team comps. And that also means, again, you know, you have to consider, you know, photosynthesis with all three of these. You know, do all three come to the game? I don't know. Maybe you might have to pick 2 of the 3 because only one can hold the booster energy, right? But again, you have to bring Torkoal, right? Because this is what enables the photosynthesis. So you might even see a team with this core, all right, with these 4 as an example. Because you get a grass type, you get a fire type, you already have your Dragon Fairy Steel core within these if you go the Terra Steel. Then you just need like a good solid water type, right? And what better water type than this thing, the Iron Bundle. Okay, this is another cool water type. And again, the benefit of this is speed 136. What is Flutter Main? 135. Okay, that's important because this will outspeed the Flutter Mains. And if this has Icy Wind, all right, and this has Icy Wind, you'll always win that speed game because you are the faster Icy Wind user. All right, and then look at all this special attack, 124. It does so much damage, okay? And the ice coverage is really nice, especially against, you know, the Hydreigons, the Garchomps, the Murkrows, the Amoonguses, the Brute Bonnets even. Just does so much. The only thing is you just have to be aware of the bulk a little bit. 56 HP, 60 special defense, not very good at all, but, you know, at least base 114 defense is actually pretty good. Just be aware of that. But in terms of like sets, like this thing even gets Aurora Veil, but I think that's very niche. You do get Blizzard, so I definitely could see this on maybe some Abomasnow teams. It does a lot of damage. What else do you get? Freeze Dry is really nice against all the water stuff. What else do we have here? No, we don't need Ice Beam. Okay, Air Chilling Water, you know, drop attack. That's also interesting. And that's pretty much it, right? It doesn't really have like a huge move pool. It's just like a Blizzard Freeze Dry Spanner with Icy Wind speed control, right? So, but again, this is why certain Flutter Mains and Iron Bundles, they always go for like max speed for this reason, okay? And then there's another one that I want to talk about, and it does really well in the Trick Room stuff, and that's going to be the Iron Hands, okay? Now this one, fighting electric, really good. Again, the fighting coverage, very, very nice against all the dark types running around. You got Hydreigon stuff, you got King Gambit stuff, you know, all these things are weak to fighting. And if you have the Iron Hands, which is just better Hariyama, you know, this thing was already dominating before. Now I expect it to dominate again. And with the Core Driver, the Energy Booster rather, to enable the Core Drive, you're just going to get more attack. You know, base 140 attack is already strong enough with all this bulk. Now you could even consider an Assault Vest here, you know, just to round out its stats. But if you want the booster energy, it also does really well. But something like Close Combat, Wild Charge, I think this does get Fake Out, and some filler move. Okay, maybe even Drain Punch, I think, is kind of nice. It just does so much damage. All right, and this is exactly what Trick Room teams need, is like this dominant physical hitter, you know, kind of like Ursaluna that's supposed to come out, but not yet. But yeah, like Iron Hands could also be a thing. You might even see like Assault Vest builds just for something like this even. So if you already have your booster energy taken up, then you can just run Assault Vest, and it's just a very, very hard Pokemon to remove, especially if you have Drain Punch, right? Just get a lot of recovery. So I'm happy to see this thing. And then, you know, you have to start wondering, now with all these Paradox Pokemon, what happens to these guys? Hold on, let me remove this. What happens to these two homies that have been dominating the format? Where are you? Dondozo and Tatsugiri, right? Are they going away anytime soon? Well, if you remember before Series 1, you know, they were still around. They just weren't used as much. And I think that's going to happen again, where like you'll see them drop a little bit. but not like to the point where nobody's just not going to use him. I still think it's a very good duo. I just don't think it'll be as good now that you have more weapons against them, especially like the fairy types, like the Flutter Main, and even like this thing. Where is it? The Iron Valiant. Okay. Because, you know, if the Dondozos want to either Terra Dragon or Terra Steel to resist the Amoonguss Clear Smogs and the Meowscarada stuff, that's okay, because we have Iron Valiant, and the Fairy Fighting coverage can do well against either of those Terras. And again, you either have like Moonblast, all right, or you have Close Combat. And this is probably my favorite of the Paradox Pokemon, just because you have this flexibility of either going one or the other. But the Dondozo stuff has to be aware. And Iron Valiant, it didn't really get its chance yet because the format didn't start, because there wasn't really a real format before Series 1. But now that we can use this, I think you'll see a lot of Iron Valiant, especially on like Tailwind stuff. You know, base 116 is pretty fast, but you're not faster than Flutter Main, and you're not faster than Iron Bundle. So you're going to need a little bit of speed control to help you out there. But Fairy Fighting coverage really, really nice, especially against a lot of the Dragon stuff that's running around. So definitely would love to see a little bit more Iron Valiant. But in terms of Dondozo Tatsugiri, I still think they stay around. I just don't think they're going to be as strong, but you know, that's to be expected, right? Where else have we not done? But I think that's, this thing, Screamtail. Yeah, this is the last one I wanted to try and talk about. So with Screamtail, bulky Trick Room setter with a lot of good support moves. Just to like go through its list just a little bit. Again, another Photosynthesis Mon. But look at its bulk: 115 HP, 99 defense, 115 special defense. Also very fast too. So that's also very convenient. Fairy Psychic type as well. A lot of good fairies that are coming back. So yeah, the dragons beware. Okay, so let's take a look here. It also even has like a calm mindset. Oh no, that's not gonna help it, right? So, you know, I'm looking at the attack and special attack. Oh, that's very poor. So it's just like a bulky support option. But it's got fake tears, which is really good. It's got helping hand, of course. Oh yeah, the light screen reflect stuff, we knew that. Light screen, reflect, Trick Room. All right, this is what you're mainly going to be using it for in terms of either of the sets. I don't think you run both screens and Trick Room. I think you run one or the other, and then just pick other support moves. You do get Thunder Wave, that's also cool. What else you got here? Oh, Amnesia could be interesting. Imprison, okay. Imprison Trick Room stuff, that's also fine. This thing gets Rain Dance? Holy cow. Scary Face is also nice. Sunny Day, wow, this thing gets like all the weather stuff. So anyway, either a screen setter or a Trick Room setter. I think it's really, really good. And, you know, just like this really fast speed tier is also very convenient. I think you'll see it on a lot of bulkier teams that want to try and utilize these sets. You know, whether it's the Trick Room or the light screen set. But I am definitely on board with the screen tail stuff. So if you're interested in using that, maybe you might even consider booking a team building session. All right, but don't do it now. Do that like towards the end of the month. But yeah, so that's pretty much it. I just wanted to preview some of the stuff in terms of what's coming around for Series 2. Now, you know, you might say, was it too soon? You know, like, did we really give a chance for the meta to develop, especially like with Series 1? Maybe not. I feel like we could have used another month of Series 1. I feel like there is still room to be explored in Series 1, especially with some of the other Pokemon. Because now with the introduction of Paradox, I think you'll see a little bit more centralizing in the team building. And other Pokemon that were once a little bit more viable in Series 1, maybe not so viable in Series 2 with the Paradox stuff. But these are like strong mons. They're not broken. They're just, you know, strong. Because, you know, their base stats is still less than 600. So, you know, it's not like they're like Ubers. So that's different. It's not like we're dealing with Zacian here. These are just like very good, strong mons. But I still think, you know, you'll see a little bit more centralizing because of that, right? But that's okay. That's still a good thing. But yeah, let me know what your thoughts are. Series 2 are. I just wanted to bring light to the rule set here and just do it the right way, because I know earlier in the morning I didn't quite do it correctly. So I wanted to do a little bit more of a better job here. So hopefully I touched upon certain things. But yeah, definitely a fan of Roaring Moon. So as we get closer to February, we'll work on some team building with Series 2. But we'll be back in another video in the next one, guys. Peace out, and have a good one.